The lies, the deception, the severe allergen to the truth. It is getting stronger and stronger with Angel Reese. Woke corporations, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are begging you. They are begging you to embrace Angel Reese and her dozens of aliases. I'm so special. I'm so great. One name cannot contain my greatness. My name is Angel, Bayou Barbie, Chi-Town Barbie, Double Barbie, Me-Bound Barbie.
No, Reese only wanted to play basketball. She's currently popular for all the wrong reasons. Hold on tight, because Mama Reese just verbally elbowed someone from the top rope on Twitter, acting like it was WrestleMania. This time, what did Angel do? What's causing Mama Reese to breathe fire? Did she just criticize the entire WNBA? It's messy, I see. Take out your popcorn. This family dispute has just gone Hollywood. Let's get started.
What's up, y'all? I just want to talk about this chick, Angel Reese, for a second. She has been all over my timeline, over my Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok. She's always pushing people and this and that. She's always in controversy. So let me address this situation real quick. How is she a professional athlete? Like, can we step back for a second and just analyze this situation? How in the world is this chick a professional athlete? She is, out of all the clips that I've seen, she is the worst.
We're naming our daughters after ourselves now. As if Beyonce were releasing an album out of the blue. Angel Reese is named in her honor. There is no legacy there. That is an example of a branding strategy gone wrong. Who says, yep, let's roll the dice on me being iconic enough that this won't backfire when they see a newborn baby? That's not confidence in oneself. That's the main character syndrome with a dash of look at me, I'm special, and a dash of delusion.
They push Angel Reese, the more she seems to be rejected. And now we have Angel Reese Sr. coming to her defense. Now we have Mama Reese trying to rally the fan base. Or as Angel Reese would call them.
And let's not act as though there isn't irony throughout this entire story. The WNBA at last receives widespread recognition. Fantastic, fantastic, let the trumpets play. And they're burning down the entire house instead of constructing anything because one lady from Iowa made the decision to excel at basketball. That's all. The scandal is that, boom, Caitlin Clark lit up the scoreboard as she stepped onto the court. Some people began to respond as though she had personally disparaged their great-grandmother's recipe for potato salad.
Oh my gosh. Is this for real? Is this really for real? But I'm going to show you this video because if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to absolutely fall out of your chair laughing. I know what I'm going to call this. I'm going to call this the curse of Dave Portnoy. Barstool Sports El Presidente. He went on a rant about that Ryan Clark stuff, and he said all he had to say about Angel Reese and Ryan Clark and that whole mess. And I will say this, his rant cursed Angel Reese because she proceeded to have the absolute worst game of her.
It is now complete anarchy. Caitlin Clark's presence somehow turned into a personal jab against everybody who wasn't from the Midwest. Why is it acceptable to despise Iowans as if we were all doomsday agents fed corn? Other than providing you with a picturesque view of soybeans and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shooter of the generation, there isn't any rivalry, controversy, or dubious past. Half the league is acting as though she brought shame on the basketball bloodline, even though it's just a chick hitting logo trees like she's checking the weather.
Reese, who actually played okay and looked like she improved her game, made a mockery of her existence. She got fouled, totally common foul by Caitlin Clark, going for a layup, falls down and then attacks her basically and makes it just a joke out of her existence and why everybody hates Angel Reese. And shame on the WNBA. Upgrading this to a flagrant foul, that's a flagrant foul. It was the most common routine.
In relation to dishonor, let us discuss the Olympic roster. Clark, the most talked about player in women's basketball, was curiously left off as if she were a third-string mascot. Let's imagine, nevertheless, that experience and fit were the key factors. Meanwhile, someone somewhere feels personally attacked each time Clark breathes. Balance is no longer the key. An even bigger tidal wave of hatred for Clark, Iowa, and everyone who dared to shout too loudly has been triggered by the love for her. And who is in charge of the retribution force? Come on, Mama here. Reese Angel is not the victim. She no longer even makes an effort to be subtle about it. Professional sports are what this is. Individuals speak and respond. Be prepared for jeering if you play the villain for a long enough period of time. It's branding, not bullying. She also wrote the handbook herself. You don't get to pick fights on social media like it's a housewives audition, dance around the court mocking opponents, and then clutch your pearls when someone finally responds.
In basketball, I'm 5'5", so there's a whole realm of basketball I can't experience. I don't have any above the rim experience. On the other hand, I'm not Angel Reese. I'm 99% on my layups because I can't afford to miss a layup. My layup is my dunk. I don't care if the defender is 7'9". The taller and bigger he is, the more he cannot keep up with these first three.
It is not a protective strategy to adopt a victim attitude. It's a tactic. Apparently, Mama Ree has made it her full-time job. However, seeing adults use social media as a weapon, as though each tweet is a sword in some epic struggle for justice, is tiresome. In this game, Angel switches between stories more quickly than a wedding reception DJ. Women's empowerment is the focus 1 week. After that, it's about how everyone is trying to harm her. She is misinterpreted, then brave, then the blueprint is her. It's similar to attempting to follow a soap opera where the writers are high on delusion and Gatorade, and the plot changes frequently in between episodes. You cannot profess to be all about team cohesion and development while at the same time sowing drama seeds whenever the spotlight goes down. A coded tweet, a hazy shade, or a dig wrapped in passive-aggressive glitter, it's always something. It's the end of the world the moment someone pushes back. That's why you, and I don't support women, all of a sudden, no, nonsense is simply not supported by the public. There is a distinction.
Basketball player I've ever seen, and that's not an exaggeration. I wish I was lying because I feel bad for her, for how bad she is, but she is so bad at basketball. Yet she wants to be compared to Caitlin Clark and all these great WNBA players. She's not even close. There's middle schoolers that can beat her. It is so, like, what do y'all agree with me? Because I hope I'm not the only one. She is just not a good basketball player. She needs to keep her mouth.
Turmoil is not needed in the league. Instead of divas trying out for a Netflix documentary series, it needs stars who act like stars. Despite all the attention she has received, Caitlin Clark did not desire this insanity. No one was dragged by her. She didn't mention names. She simply hooped, and in a way that poses a greater threat than any hard foul or trash talk. People who believe that the league will always be about them and who gets to be noticed are triggered by her sheer existence. And forget it if that woman is from Iowa and happens to be white. It seems to be a deal breaker. In other words, hate is beginning to overshadow love. Some people simply cannot handle not being the focus of attention, not because Caitlin Clark did anything wrong. The fact that she is the star is too much for them to take. The person who sells jerseys, puts butts in seats, and whom casual fans genuinely know by name. They become unreasonable as a result of that level of visibility, not just envious.
Angel Reese. After bad losses, she sometimes publicly plays the victim. Racist comments were directed at her in the arena or especially on social media, and I don't doubt she has heard some in arenas and read a number of racist remarks on social media, and as I continue to say to all WNBA.
However, they lash out rather than level up. They toss anchors rather than rising with the tide. Additionally, they spend their time creating small-scale Twitter feuds and cosplaying as martyrs in the midst of an expanding empire rather than teaching newer players how to flourish in the spotlight. It's not motivating, it's draining. It's time for Angel to start acting like a celebrity if she wants to be taken seriously as one. Don't be too theatrical. Ignore the subtweets. Hurry up, Angel left. To LSU, It's not precisely a story of rags to riches, fatalities. When the glass slipper was given out in a Nike box, I received complete tuition to one of the nation's largest colleges, yet I still felt oppressed, as if we're a Cinderella narrative. She received national exposure, nil deals, magazine covers, and a whole marketing effort centered around her as if she were Serena's second coming. She played at a top-tier SEC program as the sympathy procession begins to march down Main Street. Pardon the rest of us for rolling our eyes.
Starters were released and people are pissed. This is how votes were cast. 50% was fan vote, 25% was media, and the remaining 25% was current players. One person that was not one of the 10 starters selected, Angel Reese. Now, Angel was actually 5th among frontcourt players in the fan voting, but she didn't even rank inside the top 10 in current player or media voting. The top vote getter was unsurprisingly Caitlin Clark with over 1.
Additionally, avoid even attempting the I came from nothing act. While you're living the influencer athlete hybrid ideal, nobody is buying that. Wearing personalized sneakers and crying from a high-end condo while recording footage for Gatorade does not scream struggle. It shouts well-planned anarchy. You attended a university where the cafeteria menu reads like a 5-star brunch and football players practice on scooters. Don't act like you were hooping with your socks ripped and wishing someone would throw you a protein bar. You're not above the game, either, if someone dares to suggest it. It would seem as though someone had declared war on basketball. Let's speak about this whole don't tell me I'm privileged mentality when they are actually living the kind of lives that 99% of people imagine: traveling, playing sports, earning money, getting sponsorships, and having TV time while yet acting like victims and moping like they're reading a Dickens novel. You mentioned Angel Reese in a few of your remarks. Yes, compared to Caitlin Clark, you called her garbage. Indeed, I adore black people. However, I believe that we do occasionally overplay the race card. It's not racial. It has to do with sports. It has to do with athletic abilities. Do you understand what I mean? Additionally, when you gaze at Caitlin given her range, 3-point shooting ability, and everything else she does, Clark's game is strikingly similar to Steph Curry's. Then you look at Angel Reese, and stop it, she simply appears to be as clumsy as a wearing lashes longer than the stat sheet, posting with an artistic filter, and dripping in glitter. It's blatant emotional manipulation while acting like everything is very difficult. Then there is Mama Ree, who continues to play the role of Twitter Fighter 2025. She's like the stage mom who keeps forgetting that it's not her audition at this point. Mama is always there in the comments, stoking the flames like someone cancelled Christmas whenever Angel makes headlines, even if it's a self-inflicted injury. As if she had just lost her favorite toy. She is out here defending an adult woman. It is no longer charming, it's draining. We've officially stepped over the thin line that separates projection from protection. This is PR gone wrong, not parenting. Mama Ree is trying to win pity for every clapback and praise for every meltdown, but it isn't working. She is not the weaker party, the phony wokeism. Players who receive full red carpet treatment each time they sneeze in a different direction are constantly accusing others of racism. It was terrible when Angel Reese slapped a clipboard out of her coach's hand. Oh, Angel, let's not make disrespecting your teammates, coach, and staff the norm. She is behaving as though she is good or something. She isn't rebounding the clipboard, which surprises me. Both on and off the court, her conduct has been absolutely unacceptable. She continues, Pelican Bay is where she will be performing. A real woman in action. Is not respected by this new generation. Her supporters then defend her. Yes, it's a common practice among men. Do you recall Travis Kelce? He strangled his coach. I say all that as a man. A double standard is in place. How we send her as to Russia with a penny bag and pull a Britney grinder. She had to leave, however. Really, let's perform benched, ejected, suspended for the future. Activism has changed. It's a show. Victimization has become a commodity for this generation of WNBA players and their fan base, and business is flourishing. And the similarities are just the beginning. Nobody is denying the existence of discrimination. This isn't Selma, though. It's not 1965 here. Even though the stars in this professional sports league earn more money than the majority of doctors, they continue to act as though rival fans and officials are oppressing them. It's irrational, theatrical, It's also growing. Stale, really old. They call out prejudice more quickly than they do miss layups. This is a crazy idea. Perhaps some players are more marketable simply because they are better, not because of their origin. Better passers, better shooters, and more adept in navigating celebrity without destroying themselves. The fan base may not be racist. Simply put, people are fed up with drama queens who have low shooting percentages acting as though they are being silenced. No one hushed you. Spoiler alert, every timeline has you. Basketball player Angel Reese needs to improve. I'm not referring to as an individual. I'm not referring to my role as a podcast host. I am not referring to the Met Gala. She needs to improve. Player in order for this rivalry to have some longevity. Although she had an extremely busy offseason, it doesn't appear that many left-handed layup micing workouts were part of it at the present. Angel Reese is a very well-known rebounder at the moment. Every news segment, panel, and commercial. This is the most glamorous type of oppression ever created, if it is indeed oppression. You're crying uncontrollably, lined up with reality TV, deals, and luxury bags, like you're the next Kardashian. Don't tell us the sob tale, because race isn't the issue right now. Equality is not the issue, it has to do with ego. They say they desire growth, but when it occurs, panic. They want viewers, but by making every postgame press conference into a TED Talk about oppression, they alienate half of the audience. Basketball is what people are watching, not a sociology class. Quit treating every critique as a supreme court case and every bird like a microaggression. Sometimes it's not a national scandal, but simply a lousy game. True fans are caught in the crossfire in the meantime. Everyone is terrified to speak the truth, therefore someone has to do it. They fabricate historical data and fictitious statistics. They don't tell Reese the truth, but it's the first time someone has ever had this for her all day. The issue is Angel Reese, the sky over Chicago, and I've been telling you this since last year. The way they're playing today, you won't win a championship. Whether they have Brianna Stewart, Nefiso, or even AJ on a squad doesn't matter to me. You will never win a championship if your offense is played through Angel Reese. Never. Others who only wish to cheer on the game without fear of being labeled bigoted for supporting the incorrect player. Those who are more concerned with skill than skin color. Those who are fed up with being told they are on the wrong side of history for preferring a jump shot to a hot take are departing in large numbers. Some athletes and fans have developed a martyr complex that is so exaggerated that it may eventually fade. You can't have both of them. However, the reality is straightforward. Loudness does not equate to righteousness. Being resentful does not demonstrate bravery. Furthermore, you are not become famous by naming your daughter after yourself. It gives the impression that you are simultaneously self-aware and have run out of baby names. Perhaps it's time to mature when you're holding the crown. Stop acting like the victim. Congratulations if the worst thing that has ever happened to you is that someone from Iowa is receiving more applause than you. There is no oppression of you. All you are is salty.